Hi there everybody, it's Rarity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for a card making video. This one is for our Project Share project blog hop, so links will be in the description to that. It's just the four of us, little group of us, Stampin' Up demos, and we have a monthly theme. So first Saturday of the month we'll share. So and then this video just supports that blog hop, so do check out that. Not everyone does the videos, but I thought I'd share what I made visually with you guys. The theme is clean and simple. Okay, so hopefully this is clean and simple enough for everybody. So lots of white, okay, with just some really simple stamping to make some nice Christmas cards, which could be mass produced quite easily. There's a little bit of fussy cutting, but if you were to do things in stages, you could probably rattle off a fair few of these reasonably quickly. Okay, so here we go then. A lovely wreath. I love wreaths, so this was, I have to say, that was the main reason for getting this set. And I like the little gift package as well, which I've used before, and there's some other elements in there which I may end up using as well. So this is what we're doing today. Okay, so this is Gift of Joy. This is an online, no it isn't, it's the mini catalogue this is from, and we've got two stamps that create sort of half the wreath, so you don't have to make it into a wreath. You could make it into like a sort of swag or something like that, and it's two-step stamping. Okay, there are sentiments in this, but I have chosen to use the sentiments from the seasonal tag set, also from the mini catalogue. So I've brought together the Merry Christmas there to create that, and I've used my grid paper to line up the stamp onto a block. See that there? So I've lined it up on the grid paper and put my block on top, so I've got them on there. Okay, so that's what we've used for that. And then the shape in the background is from Nested Essentials. Nice set. I've been using this a lot recently for various things. So I've used the largest banner shape there to create that. Okay, so colour combos then. This one is Berry Burst for the little bow and the sentiment. The wreath is made with Lemon Lime Twist and Old Olive. Okay, so it's quite a little bit of a different combo. Two colours I don't use that often, and I thought the Berry Burst just had that muted sort of look to it to make that stand out. A couple of rhinestones just to sort of, bit of bling. Can't have a card without a bit of bling, right? So let's crack on. Here I go again. As soon as I switch the camera on. Chew! There we go. Right, so hopefully that's out of the way. Let's get cracking. So I've already got a couple of card bases ready, and I've also die cut the banners ready to go as well. So we're going to make two cards because we're going to go show you a couple of different colour options. Okay, so they're ready to go, and then I'm going to use some this is actually White Willow that I've used here, and we're going to do two sets of the wreaths. So like I say, we've got the sort of solid stamp, and then we've got like an outline stamp that come together to create our wreaths. Okay, so we're going to use Garden Green, which is also a colour I do not use a lot of. So you just need to stamp it twice to create your circle. Okay, so that's Garden Green, and then our other one, I should wipe that off. And then our second wreath is going to be a soft seafoam base. Let's pop that one in there. It is a distinctive stamp, so it doesn't stamp perfectly, and I don't think you need it to really. Okay, and then with our outline, we're going to go over the top of those images with shaded spruce. Doing it again, doing the dark one first. Now they do overlap and marry up with the base image. Honestly, I really wouldn't worry too much about getting it lined up perfectly. I think it looks just fine, if not better, if it's a little bit wonky, for want of a better word. And we're going to use Granny Apple Green over the top of the soft seafoam, so we're going to get completely different look with these. But as you can see, you know, if you do all your base layers, and I'm obviously using 2 colours, which is going to obviously add to the time, but you can see how you could quickly get those all stamped. Okay, but like I say, we are going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. Okay, and again, I just want to stress that you don't have to be super perfect with this. Okay, it's a nice scrap to use with something else. I'm going to just bodge a hole in that as well. Don't so put the hole in the middle. Don't stab yourself though. Okay, and we can go round then into the middle, and you know what, it's a bit of a wiggle here and there to fuss around that. Not going to be overly careful, and because it's a circle, it's quite easy to sort of twizzle that around. Well, say it's a circle, it's a wibbly circle. Okay, but you do not have to cut out the centre. You could just go around the outside edge. Okay, entirely up to you, but it's not going to take too long to do. But what I have done ahead of time is cut out the bows that are going to go on over the top of these, and I've picked out a couple of reds. So I've got one in Poppy Parade, which will go with this one, this lighter colour, and then I've got one in Real Red to go with the darker one. But you know, you don't have to use traditional colours. You can use whatever you like. Okay, so this one I'm going to go around the outside first, because it doesn't matter. Which way you do it, a bit more stability if the centre is still in, if I'm honest, but I don't think it really matters. You do you, whatever you're most comfortable with. But like I say, I just wanted to show you it doesn't take too long, and you could probably enlist someone to do it for you if need be. Okay, and then we'll just whiz around the middle. So I don't want to do this. Don't want to spend too much time on this. The whole idea is these are simple and quick to do. And like I say, cutting out the middle isn't essential, I don't think, but it is my personal opinion. It looks a little bit better if you do, but like I say, and that isn't the neatest cutting out in the world, and it doesn't have to be. Okay, so there we go. There's our 2 wreaths. So we'll bring in those banners, and we will use some wet glue, and as you can see, I'm not going all the way around it because you don't have to, and we're going to place that on there and secure that, and on there to secure that. So again, another step. So when you're batch making, it's good to complete a whole set. So I would cut all my banners, I'd get all my stamping done, I'd get all my cutting done, I'd lay all of these on, and then I would add my bows. Okay, so bows can go on. You could use glue dots rather than wet glue, but as it's out, that's what I'm using. And you've got a bit of wriggle room. So that is Real Red. This is Poppy Parade, and I've put far too much on there, but it's fine because it will dry clear. Okay, so I'm going to set those to one side just for a moment or two, and that glue dries, well, it gets not completely dry, but it gets mostly dry very, very quickly. Mark on the front, so let's just it's all right. These are offcuts from when I trimmed down like card layers and things, so I haven't even cut that specially, and don't even know whether it's an actual, oh, they are actually 1/2 inch, but like I say, they were just in the scrap bin. But what I did do was, once I'd made my original, it turned out that was approximately 3 3/4 long, so I cut them at 3 3/4 long. So we'll grab our coordinating inks with our bows just to sort of pull everything together. I think it looks nice if it's coordinated like that, but that's not to say you couldn't introduce a third colour if you wanted to. So we've got a Poppy Parade one ready to go there, and we'll do another one in Real Red. Now, I don't know whether you eagle-eyed amongst you will see that I've ended up with the A getting filled with ink there, and I know why that will have happened. I'm not going to clean the stamp because I'm going into a darker red ink. If you get an air bubble over your letters, where those where you've got like a, I don't know what you call it, like a circle, like the centre of the R's and the A's and things like that, yeah, if you've got an air bubble, you'll end up with it getting filled in. So if you see the one, just blow on it and make sure the bubble bursts before you add it to your cardstock. Right, just want to get the ink off that because it's red ink, so I want to get it off as soon as possible to minimise the staining, because I'm like that and it annoys me. If it doesn't annoy you, that's fine. The stain thing is unavoidable, but it does tell you that the stamps are made from good quality photopolymer. So we're just going to use our snips again to cut these into little banner ends, so just up the middle slightly and then in from the corners. And you'll get your banners. So again, totally optional, don't have to do this. You could use one of the stylish shapes instead, or just use a straight edge and not worry about having to cut anything down. So you can skip steps and modify this as you see fit. Use some alternative colours. Later on we've got the Stamp Around UK video hops, and we're all doing winter cards on there, so I use an alternative colour combination in that video, which would work nicely with this as well. So look out for that later on. That goes out at 6 PM. Okay, gonna need some dimensionals. So I've only got one left on the back of this. That's only a blue sheet. I will use all these edge pieces. So I'm just going to pop a dimensional on the very end of these so that they're ready. Okay, these should be dry enough to add some dimensionals on, but before we do, I'm just going to use brushes to add some ink to the background. So I'm going to use the light one and the darker one, and I'm not going to add any ink to these. I'm just going to use whatever's on there just to add something to the background, and it doesn't have to be a super duper blend, it's just a hodgepodge. Just to add something to the background, which will help these pop from the background. That's all I'm trying to do, but I am going to pop them up onto dimensionals. So we'll just, that one isn't quite dry and I can't pick it up. Oh goodness me, it's dry enough. So 3 will do. I don't have to cover everything, every inch of everything with a dimensional. Just need it secured. Okay, this one's moved while I turned that over because I used far too much glue. So that's probably going to dry nice and quickly now that we've taken that away. Okay, so now you want to eyeball that, hopefully get it something like central, left and right. Height probably doesn't matter too much because it's not covering the whole of the card. Of course, you know, you could measure this out a little bit and leave it less to chance that you're going to get it central, but what's the fun in that, eh? Right, so this is the dark one. So the dimensionals are going to sort of bridge this, which is already up on dimensionals. So again, it's going to go across the middle, looking to get those tails even here. Okay, same with this one. You want to let your stuff dry properly in between some of these steps. Obviously, while I'm filming, it's a little trickier. The obviously glue dots don't need any time to dry, so you could use glue dots as well. And then the final thing is just some these are not dimensionals, these are rhinestones. So just 3 of those, just to pull that together. Like so. Very easy to do, very quickly. Okay, so there we go. Quick and simple, clean and simple, with some traditional and less traditional cards there. So yeah, let me know what you think. Don't forget, it is part of a blog hop. The link to the blog is in the description, as are links to the products I've used today, if you're interested in that. And yeah, it's fun making nice quick cards like these. I think these might make it into the stash for some giving when the time comes. So I hope you've enjoyed that and it's given you some ideas. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're staying safe. Do take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.